Today I'm going to talk about perimeter. This is the outside of an area or space. Perimeter has the word rim in it, and I like to think of rim as the outside of an object or an area. Let's try another. Let's say the measurement of this is 5 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Push pause and try to solve the perimeter of this object yourself. Did you say that it's 5 plus 10 plus 5 plus 10, even though I didn't have a 5 or a 10 on this side? You'd be right. So the total of this perimeter is 5 and 10 is 15, plus 5 and 10 is 15. 30 centimeters is the perimeter of this area. Did you already notice that when I added the last box, I'm going to use new dimensions here, and let's say 2 feet plus 6 feet, that when I found the perimeter, I said that it was 2 plus 6 plus 2 plus 6. Another way to say this is 2 plus 6 times 2. 2 plus 6, 8, times 2 equals 16 feet. Did you notice that? One of the mistakes that people make when they're finding the perimeter, even though they can solve for whatever the units are, and I put a U here because it doesn't matter what the units are, is they'll do their math properly. 2 plus 3 times 2, 5 times 2 is 10, but they'll leave off the units. It is imperative that you put on whether it's feet or inches or miles, and if it doesn't say, then the correct answer is units. I want you to go ahead and solve these 3 problems on your own. I'm going to draw the areas that I need you to solve. Then I want you to hit pause and solve them. How can I solve this when only one side is showing? How do you think you're going to solve that? Did any of you say that since it's a square, you know the other sides are the same? Also going to have measurements of 2? If you notice that someone only gives you a single dimension on an object that looks like a square, they're implying that it is a square. Go ahead, hit pause, and solve all 3 of these. Times 2 is 10 inches. 7 plus 4 times 2 is 11 times 2, that's 22 feet. And lastly, 2 plus 2 times 2 is 4 times 2, which is 8 centimeters. Now, I wonder what would happen if you had to solve for the perimeter of a shape that looked like this. What do you think you would do? Hit pause and think about it. Did you say add up all the sides? You'd be right. First, you'll need to know the length of all the sides. So here, we wouldn't have a formula other than adding them all up. 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4. Now, whenever I do problems like this, I like to try and find the tens that are in here. So I see 5 plus 5 is 10. plus another 5 is 15, 19, 21, 22, 23. Since I never said what the units were in this case, the answer is the perimeter equals 23 units. Now go ahead and try and solve for these 5 objects. I'll go ahead and number them. Let's call this number 1. Let's change the color on that. Let's call this object number 1, object number 2, object number 3, object number 4, and object number 5. Solve for those, bring them in tomorrow, and we'll go over it in class. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.